So guys, out of all the iPad stands I've tested on this channel, and there have been a lot of really great ones, the Magflött by CharJen has been my all-time favorite for a couple of different reasons. Well, guess what? My all-time favorite iPad stand just got even better. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
Hey, what's up guys? It's great to see you all again, and if you're new here, I'm Patrick, and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. Now, if you've been to this channel before, you know that I'm a big fan of the iPad. Currently, I have two favorite ones that I use every single day. One is my beloved iPad mini 6, which is my grab-it iPad, if I need to look something up really quick, if I want to jot down a quick note, or if I want to sit down and read an article, that's the iPad I will grab because it's just easy and lightweight. My other favorite iPad is of course my 12.9-inch iPad Pro. This is my workhorse. This is what I use to do the heavy lifting when I'm not at my MacBook. It's fast, it's powerful, and of course it has that amazing Liquid Retina XDR display, and I will always have a special place in my heart for this iPad because the 2020 iPad Pro was in fact what started this very YouTube channel. I'm currently using the M1 iPad Pro. I did not feel the need to upgrade to the M2. If you want to know why, I will link to that video in the description below. Now, because of its power and its beautiful big screen, the iPad can be used in many different scenarios, both as a standalone device and as the perfect companion to your Mac. And that is why, aside from the Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil, of course, a good and solid stand is the most important accessory for me. Now, like I said in the intro, I've tested a fair share of great stands on this channel, but last year I was approached by a small company called CharJen, which I believe is an amalgamation of the founders' names, Charlie and Jen, who told me that they developed this amazing magnetic iPad stand they wanted me to try out. And of course I said, sure, I'm always looking for cool new stands, send it over. It was all very cute. I got the main parts in one package and the screws came from another package from the UK even. Like I said, it was a prototype and those guys were just getting started. Now, sometimes I wish they had never sent it to me because the stand they sent to me, it's called the Magflött, weird spelling, no idea why they chose that, but it doesn't matter because that stand ruined me for other stands. It's so good in its simplicity that I just haven't really felt the need to use a lot of other stands. The design looks like it could have created by Apple. It feels super robust. The magnets are super strong, so you don't need to worry about the iPad falling down. It has a lot of viewing angles, and there's a cutout for the rear camera, which not many stands have. And even the USB-C cable that comes with it has been carefully designed since it goes into the iPad and then wraps around the stand so it can be routed through the cable management hole in the back. Needless to say that this stand has become a massive success. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like a miniature Apple Studio display, and with that amazing screen on the iPad, it might as well be. Now, as much as I love this stand, there is one gripe I have with it, and I know some other reviewers have expressed the same thing, and that is the fact that it's not height adjustable. Maintaining a good posture is very important to me, which is why I spent the extra bucks for the tilt and height adjustable stand on my Apple Studio display. When you work sitting down most days like me, you don't want to be hunched over all the time. So with a stand that is not height adjustable, you'll have to find ways to elevate it or prop it up to avoid that. But that is why I love working with smaller family businesses like CharJen because they actually talk to their customers. They keep in touch with the reviewers and they spend a lot of time and resources trying to address those issues and to improve on future iterations of their products. So when they reached out to me again to send me their new and improved prototype, I obviously didn't hesitate, and this is the result. Meet the newest CharJen stand, the Magflött Pro. Now, just to be clear, this is not a sponsored video. I'm not being paid to say anything. In fact, I don't even get to keep this stand because it's literally a prototype, so I will have to send it back. But I like it so much that I just want to share it with you guys. And maybe if I ask nicely, Charlie will send me a production model once they're out. Anyway, so here it is, and they took all the good stuff from the original Magflött and kept it in, but this one has a couple of extra tricks up its sleeve. It still comes in this really small package, which is super easily assembled, just a few small screws and it's done. It still has the same beautiful aesthetic, the same robust feeling and weight to it, but with some added functionality. The most important new feature, which you can probably see immediately, is the fact that it's height adjustable. A simple twist on the wheel lets you position the stand exactly where it needs to be, so you can always keep it exactly at eye level. And as you can see, it can go up pretty high, but even when it's all the way up, it still feels nice and stable. The magnetic panel has extremely strong magnets holding up the iPad, and it still swivels all the way over so you can use it from both sides. Like the original Magflött, the panel rotates so you can easily switch between landscape and portrait orientation, but while the original Magflött has hard stops, the Pro model rotates a full 360 degrees so you can literally position it any which way you want. Now, there's a couple of ways I like to use this stand. Probably the most obvious use case is as a standalone iPad setup with a mouse and a keyboard combo, or rather a trackpad and a keyboard combo, which I prefer since the trackpad mimics the swiping on the iPad and feels more natural to use. Now, because the stand is height adjustable, I have no problems working like this for several hours. The second way I like to use this stand is as a central hub to control stuff in my office, like the lights and other smart appliances. In this use case, the tilt really comes in handy so you can position the panel for easy access no matter where you stand or where the thing is positioned. However, the way I like to use the stand most often is on my main desk in conjunction with my MacBook Pro and my Apple Studio display. I keep my MacBook docked and in clamshell mode all the time, so I love using my beautiful 12.9-inch display on my iPad Pro for extra screen real estate. Now, as you probably know, there are several ways to do that. You can, of course, just use the iPad as is, as a separate device to keep your notes open or maybe a Discord server, so you don't have to put that stuff on your main monitor. But of course, you can also make use of the good old Apple ecosystem, which is probably how Apple intended it to be used, the iPad as the ideal Mac companion. You can use Sidecar and have it be an external monitor. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that. It's a little bit buggy and I don't often use it, but what I do use all the time is Universal Control, which is the newest way of communicating between your Mac and your iPad, and it's absolutely fantastic. It basically lets you use your iPad as a separate device rather than an external display, but it does allow you to operate it using the same mouse and keyboard you're using for your Mac. You can even copy and paste and drag and drop files between your iPad and your Mac, and that to me is the perfect way of using the iPad as a companion device. And lastly, for you hardcore iPad users out there, we can now use full screen mode, which I have to say looks pretty amazing, especially on something like a studio display, and having an awesome stand like this to facilitate that is just the cherry on top. Now, while I want to focus on the Magflött Pro in this video, I do want to quickly shout out another product that CharJen will launch in conjunction with the Magflött, and that is the Magflött Visa mount. And it's exactly what you think it is. They took the strong magnet panel and turned it into a Visa mount for your iPad. And especially for dedicated desk setups, I think this will look really dope. I don't really have a nice Visa arm in the studio to demonstrate it, but I can imagine that if you find a nice silver one like this one here and place it next to your Mac, or better yet, if you're one of those people that got the Apple Studio display on a Visa arm, imagine having two of those beasts floating next to each other over your desk. Dang, I think I actually might have to get a Visa arm now. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it one of these. It really does help the channel. Subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.